Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Hey, this is a big one.
Yeah.
This is the Joyride podcast, season 6.
Yep. It's been a long time coming. We have taken a long break.
Yeah.
Before it was just the two of us. I think the last time we did just the two of us was season 1.
I'd say, no.
No, just the two of us.
Maybe
the last episode.
The last season, the last episode.
Yeah.
But it was also ending on a sad note.
Yeah.
Then we got into Love on the Joyride.
Yeah.
And then we did a lot of Joyride stories. That was a new show that you guys loved.
Yeah.
I think we were just trying to balance and introduce new segments into the Joyride. Also because you...
It was me who was pregnant.
What do you know? What do you know I want to say?
What did you want to say?
Because you were seeing a different vision for the media company and how we were going to do it. But it was also because we were pregnant. They can't catch me sleeping.
Yeah.
And so we just had to just morph and see how to do things a bit differently.
Yeah.
But I think you are a superwoman, to be honest. Nasikwambi kuchocha. Because we did campus tours. Pregnant. I remember the baby was already showing. The baby was already showing.
Yeah.
And I remember when we did Meru, that's Kemu.
We were in our 3rd trimester.
Yes, I was a bit shocked. So I was, of course, muku paranoid. Like, yeah, that's me. So I remember us getting like the best car, Googling some of the hospitals there, just in case anything happens.
Do you remember we were telling me I can't go to Meru?
Yeah, I remember. And you handled that season pretty well.
Yeah, God's good.
Yeah, here we are. God has been so good to us. We have so many testimonies.
Yeah.
And we're going to be sharing them throughout this whole season. Otherwise, how have you been?
I've been good, just full on mothering. Maybe you can give me guys a second so that I can check the CCTV and just check if my son is
That's
okay.
what you've been doing throughout when you're on a setup.
Me. But yeah, we've just been fully mothering our beautiful son, Tawa.
Yeah.
Who's now, at the time this goes out, he's probably 2 months. Yeah, so we thank God. I can't believe we're parents now.
You've bounced back pretty quick, man.
Have I?
You have.
See, we're starting the gym. Someone was telling me I'll start the gym at 6 months. I was like, hey, I'm giving myself 6 months.
No, you have the leeway from the doctor.
They know it's from next week.
You have the leeway from the doctor. Wacha kuitisha any medical advice from watu wa IT. You listen to the doctor.
My aunties.
Listen to the doctor.
Yeah.
And I think you have the leeway. One thing about Wanjiru is that Wanjiru is God's favorite when it comes to her body.
Yeah.
There was a time we used to gym together. Man, me, I struggled. I was consistent for like 6 months. Do even ndio niko. Na hivi nimeshiba. We gym together for like 6 months. I lost like 500 grams. When Jiru did for like 2 weeks, she was already starting to show some parks. And it's
so imagine now if I do
we had to cancel that.
Yeah, imagine now if I go back to the gym.
Yeah, you're gonna win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will.
I'm happy myself. Thanks for asking.
Oh,
if anyone cares, if anyone cares for the dads. And that's why I'm here for the dads, eh?
I'm here for you. How are you? How is the new season?
Hey.
For the Ben is taking it really rough.
Bana. Those babies are very cute on IG, when you're holding them.
When they're talking.
This guy will wake up at 10, 12, 2, 4. You have to figure out why they're crying. If it's not hunger, it's burping, it's diaper. So the doctor even told me sometimes they're bored. I'm like, bored from what? What do you know about anything,
Let me tell you guys a story. There's a day I found Ben with a baby. And Ben was singing that Rihanna song. What started out as a simple altercation
turned into a
really sticky city. Because the tears were too tiny for the baby. By the time I was getting there, everything was out of hand. The baby was screaming and Ben was just singing that Rihanna song. Yeah,
it's crazy. It's fulfilling. That one I'll tell you. It's a blessing. It's a huge blessing.
Yeah.
It's like nothing I've ever experienced before.
Yeah.
But it's also nothing I've ever experienced before in terms of also demand. But we're adjusting. I think my body has adjusted right now.
You haven't adjusted to anything, Ben. You're still struggling with the sleep. You're still struggling with nights. You get fuller nights of sleep. Understandably so.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I don't think
Ben just wakes up and tells me you're doing a great job. Wow. Like, you thank you.
You are another level.
Yeah.
But how are you handling it?
Hey, it's hard. It's hard. Have me thinking about future kids. Yeah.
But
I'm happy.
but believe it or not, I've heard from people saying that by the fifth child you would have adopted. So it's for you.
Yeah.
Do you want this to become easier for you? You pop them
pop-
quicker. You know?
don't
Mambo ya
even-
coil wachana
I
nayo.
think if I took you through another cycle of lack of sleep, I don't know how you would handle it.
I mean, second one would still be warming up. Third one, I'm telling you, by the fifth will be perfect.
Please.
So like the other day I was with Pizza and he was telling me that the firstborns, you're too extra, they have a fever, you've rushed them to some nice hospital, you are called the doctor. By the time you're on your third, anatapika. Kama atapiki mtoe tu hiyo vest ya juu he will cool down,
Hey, but it's been a very demanding. I think even, my coach told me that I would see this and I really didn't understand it because she said that for as long as we've been married, which would be 3 years this year, is that we've tried for things to be almost
balanced.
Balanced between us. But parenthood has really exposed how imbalanced the equation is. And so it even took me back to the question that has been lingering on Joyride for so long. Like, would you compensate your woman?
I would.
I see why people would say
I'm sorry.
they demand a compensation.
Sorry, guys. Back then I was just an activist for the boy. I had not experienced
for nothing.
Yeah.
But I see the imbalance has been brought to surface. It's been hard to see you go about your life. And
how though?
Let's get into the episode. This is a happy, jolly episode.
Okay.
Yeah. So are we ready to deep dive into the questions?
Yeah, this is how we do it. I mean, this time around, we're not even going to tell you the road to 100,000. No, this time it's just road to joy. Let's all be happy.
You guys decide.
Yeah, let's all be happy. It's road to joy.
I think we should mention that this season, it's back to basics. So you're going to be seeing a lot of me and Ben. And with a jar. And so we just want to keep it as basic and simple as you remember the Joyride 4 from season 1.
Yes, sir.
So I think I go first.
What's the conversation today about?
It's 1 + 1 = 3. The ideal Joyride
in a
Math.
poetry,
Yeah. Let's go. I start. Oh, I actually got question 1.
Okay.
Wanjiru, you're on record in the previous Joyride season saying you want kids at some point in the future. But now what changed? Did you plan on having your baby or was he a surprise?
Wanjiru, we want to hear from you. At what age did you want to have babies?
How old am I now? 31. So maybe maybe 33 thereabout. But I don't know if he was a surprise only based off of what we were coming from in terms of the loss. So I think Tower was not really like a surprise, if that makes sense. Yeah. Maybe the first pregnancy was a surprise, but Tower was not a surprise. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember feeling so shocked. Yeah. You?
First time I was shocked.
The first pregnancy.
Yeah,
right?
I remember I cried, man.
Yeah. Ben left me with a pregnancy kit and went to cry.
What was that?
Like I was just looking at it.
What was that drama? That was unnecessary. That was very unnecessary.
I just found him in the living room crying.
It was actually in the washroom.
No, I was in the washroom because I had the kit.
Oh, okay. And then the second one was interesting because after we lost the first pregnancy, we just stayed a month. Then the other month, you remember?
Yeah.
You missed your piece. And I remember we were somewhere deep in Thika because it was a burial. And you had missed your
What? Tunapeana story zote?
Hatupeani deep sana. And I remember when you were coming, when we were at the burial, huko Mushadha, were like, so we just test. And we went at a certain mall. We took the tests and it was positive. Me, I was very happy the second time.
Yeah.
But
I was too.
Yeah, everyone, we were very excited. We were not as confused as the
first one. Yeah.
That's why I'm telling you, by the fifth child, it gets easier.
But I think we were more anxious. We just went and ate fish. You remember?
Yeah, that day we went to
Osumo and just had fish.
Just had fish,
Yeah.
Just to help with the brain development quicker.
Yeah, but that started the first trimester of anxiety.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't think Tower was not a surprise. Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask, why did you want to wait until 33, 34? What is this you wanted to achieve? What is this Nobel
I don't think
podcasting?
there was anything that I wanted to achieve per se. It's just that thing of kind of postponing that thing that seems so difficult in your mind, because having experienced it, mothering is a very difficult thing. So I think it was just postponing it until a point where you can't postpone it any further. And you're like, okay, maybe now biologically, maybe the doctors say now I need to figure it out. But I think there was no clear thing that had made me want to just to postpone. Yeah.
Okay.
When did you want to have kids? Ben was ready the day we got married.
Yeah, that's true. Like just a small financial independence, and me, I was like, you know what? Me, I'm ready to have this baby. So for me, it wasn't. I didn't want to push it that much.
Ben was ready. I remember we'd had several conversations, and he was more ready than I was.
But look at God. You're under 34.
You would have been 35. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not. It's not bad. It's not an issue of bad or
what you
good.
wanted.
It's a preference for me. I would have preferred to have the baby
Them at 20, 19?
Yeah. You done?
Yeah.
So here's the other question. It's question 6. Who was the first person to panic when you knew that you were pregnant?
Ben. I think Ben. I would say Ben.
At the mall?
Yeah. I think, and why I say Ben is because I think coming from the loss, Ben was really protective of this baby and so didn't want to lose it again. So everything sent him into a panic, including like if I hit the bump. I remember there's a pothole we hit.
Yeah,
at some
King
point.
Ara Road. Please, county government, tafadhali.
And Ben thought that now we need to go to the hospital. Now this is how everything ends and disappears. But I think you panicked more.
Did I?
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. I remember there was a time I startled Shiro. I think you were just coming from a room, and I have this behavior of sometimes just startling, and it just makes me happy. Ni utoto tu, watu wako tu na utoto. The inner child. And on your 20th week, because I remember Googling startling a pregnant woman at 20 weeks, the effects, I was like, that was a very chaotic season for me, man.
Yeah.
So yes, I did panic. In fact, I remember.
Not. You panicked throughout the pregnancy.
Yeah, I remember when you just showed me the result. I was like, excuse me, let me just go to the washroom, coming back. Who panicked when your son, the son was born?
I was out, obviously, because of the meds. I just wanted to find out if he had a hairline. That was a big thing for me. So I remember asking, does he have a hairline?
Imagine, ukiwa under anesthesia.
Yeah, so that was big for me. Of course, if he cried. And Tawa did he cry? What happened? Because I remember I was under meds.
I don't know, doctor, they were saying that boys tend to be a bit lazy to cry quicker.
Yeah.
So, and me, I thought CS, once you do CS, because I was in theater. I was in theater and I thought CS, you just can't remove the baby. Kumbe there is like a lot of tussle, they push the baby out. And when the baby came out, of course, there was like 1 second when he was quiet. And I think he was...
Because that boy has lungs.
And he was shouting.
He was clearing his voice.
Because I'd even promised myself, I'm going to pray for this boy. I'm going to speak life. I was so confused, I have those videos and it was crazy. So
even the doc was asking you if you're okay.
Yeah, I remember the doc asking me, do you need a minute? Yeah. I was like, yeah. So when my son was born, it was Ben who panicked. Wow, this is not looking good. When you left the hospital and got home, who panicked?
Who panics?
Who?
You.
How?
You remember the second day?
Okay.
Tell them what you did on the second day.
No, what I did, I thought we were in this together.
I was still in bed when you were dressing up.
Yeah, so we go with the baby at home. The baby is chilled the first day. Then the second day, he's just crying a lot. He's just crying back to back. And it got to a place where I was like, you know what? Maybe let's just take this baby back to hospital. I mean, he must be still under warranty. Like, you can't come. There's no way he's supposed to have any defects that will talk on edge. And so I called a nurse. And then...
Now, second time, I could pick your call.
Yeah, second time, I was like, hey, new parents got annoying. So I was ready to go back with the baby to hospital. And then when we fed the baby, he slept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There has to be context as to the feeding, but maybe we'll get into that.
What happened? Oh, yeah. You're going to give us context with the feeding. So I'm still the one who panicked
Yeah.
when you left the hospital.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is revealing a lot that I knew that maybe you didn't know.
Wow. Joyride uko therapy. When everybody left and you were all alone, who panicked?
I think I panicked. It felt very real. Especially even in hospital, when everyone just leaves and leaves you alone. I think I panicked a lot. And I think it's because I struggled with my milk supply right off the bat. So baby had to be on formula for a period of time. And so every time you're left alone, it's like you're left to figure out how you're going to feed this baby. And then, of course, you don't have the ability to feed them because you don't have breast milk.
Yeah.
So I think I panicked a lot because of that.
And the pressure from hospital.
Yeah.
Like,
And then Finyai you every time to see, is there milk coming out? Just leave me alone. It will come when it comes.
Sawa. So,
Yeah. I'm next.
wow, I did panic a lot. I need to work on that. I need to unpack that.
This is a long one. This was 5. Wanjiru, if you ever, how many times did you loathe Ben during your pregnancy when A, you got pregnant and realized your body will never be the same and all Ben had to do was to wait for your body to create the child? B, as you continue in your pregnancy journey, routine tasks become more challenging to do as Ben continued to go to the gym and thrive. As you went through the actual childbirth process, as Ben's body was just fine. As you went through the painful healing process and, oh, this is a lot. I resent. As you breastfeed your son and Ben's, at best, will have to use a bottle. Okay, so A, I got pregnant and realized my body will never be the same and all Ben had to do was to wait for my body to create the child. I don't think this bothered me too much. Only because I know it, like I'm not too attached to like how my body looks or certain things. I am attached, but not too attached to make me feel some type of way towards you. Plus, I did look good pregnant, so that made it easier.
So you knew.
Yeah. Did I ever,
What?
like my pregnancy, when my body was changing pregnancy, did I ever like project onto you?
Slightly, yeah.
My body?
Yeah.
How so?
Like you felt like you're changing a lot and my life is just continuing.
My body specifically. No, I know other things like when you went to that
Yeah.
concert and left me alone at 9 p.m. alone
But
as
then
a
ilikuwa na-
pregnant woman at night.
hizo messages zako za ukizusha tulikuwa tunazisoma na moji tukiwa hivi. Tuko Nairobi Street Kitchen.
No, about body specifically.
Not so much body.
Yeah.
But slightly, yeah.
This B is what you're talking about. As I continue my pregnancy journey and then the more routine tasks become more challenging and as you continue to go to the gym and thrive. I think it's the fact that you could see Ben is able to do certain things. Kawaida kama kuenda your concert. Imagine aliacha on Sunday is family day.
You know you're calling me when Juliani was on stage. And I'm like,
It's 10
mtaa
p.m.
mentality. Hey.
Si ako kwa concert na post.
I love, this time round. Like this, no one to rush me to go home. Like it's just,
Mkona moji too.
oh my God.
Was Joyride calling moji?
I don't think so.
That mature.
I don't think she was calling Moji. But we were just reading your text and we were
Laughing.
Yeah, we just continued the dances.
Moji. As I went through actual childbirth process, as Ben's body was just fine. Actual childbirth, not really. The CS, I didn't feel some type of way about it. I think it's just the regular kuendelea na life, because even now, it's been hard to see your life continuing as normal. Like Ben he was able to get out of the house in 2 weeks, and he was very happy to do so.
Was I?
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't tell you. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I broke down in the car. And,
You did not.
because of how much I missed you guys.
You did not break down. So it was hard to see him go back to his life. And me, I'm just there with Tawa crying. You need to figure out breastfeeding. And then as I went through the painful healing process, not so much. I think that childbirth and the healing process, did I project any of that?
Yeah, you felt like you were stuck.
In terms of?
You felt like you can't do a lot of things.
Physically?
Yes.
Okay, maybe that.
And I remember when I would go out, it would just be, you would feel some type of way.
But it wasn't so much because of the things I couldn't do physically, but like just to see. It took 2 to make a baby. but one has to remain behind.
Because one is blessed by the Lord has been given the honors to do that. It's unataka fight na Jehovah. One has been chosen. One has been chosen to do all that. In fact, during the pregnancy, you might have been slightly at an advantage because you would hear the baby all the time. I had to ask you, did the baby kick today? And I remember that question used to annoy you.
Yeah.
Every single time I'll be like, did the baby kick today? Did the baby kick today?
Because you were asking from a place of panic. Like, is my baby alive?
No, that's a preconceived attitude. I was asking you from a place of passion.
As I breastfeed, my son and Ben is at breast, will have to use a bottle. This bothers me a lot, the breastfeeding part.
Why?
Especially at night. And I think it's a thing of like anytime Tawa is crying, everyone thinks the solution is the boob. Like, oh my God, Tawa must be hungry. Tawa must be dying of
96% of the time it works.
But sometimes he just needs to be soothed.
By the boob.
And we are learning that. So I think that I still need to work on that. Because everyone thinks that every time, even my mom, every time Tawa is just unhappy, it's because of the boob. So everyone will just look at me. I'm like, there's milk. Just put it in a bottle and feed the baby.
In fact, yesterday we were at a family event and the aunties were there. And I just loved how they were shouting, like from afar, Anyonyeshwe, Anyonyeshwe.
And there was milk that he could be fed with a bottle. So I still...
But it's a blessing, right?
It is.
It is, right? Yeah. Say it with a smile.
But it's duality that you can enjoy this blessing, but at the same time feel so exhausted.
That's fair enough. That's proper. That's proper. I think it's different stages of life. And I've seen I've seen this with my friend. When they're at this stage newborn, they fully depend on their moms.
Yeah.
Then when the boy gets to like 3, he wants to spend the whole time with his dad. Like it's war.
And I can't wait.
To do what?
Here he is.
Ndio huyu baba amepanda stage, mfuate huko.
Sasa wako hapo ana perform.
Yeah. But kumleta stage perform inaweza kuwa points. Now that you've experienced it, do you think the love you have for your child is the greatest human love you can experience? Now that you have experienced it, do you think the love you have for your child is the greatest human love you can experience?
I think so. I think so. There's a way Tawa can simultaneously annoy me, but also like that annoyance, because now he's starting to smile more. I don't know if he smiles at you, but he smiles at me. He does.
I mean, after
those nighttime feeds, he really does smile at me. I don't know when you'll see.
But why are you saying like I don't wake up at night?
You wake up once, and
no, that's not true.
How many times did you wake up last night? Because I counted how many times
I normally wake up at 2 and I wake up at 4. And for me it's tougher because whenever you feed him with the bottle, you have to burp him.
I will throw this.
With the boob, he doesn't need to be burped as much.
He does. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So do you think that's the greatest form of love?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially now that I'm saying that, I think he's starting to smile more. So like when he can just frustrate you because like hamuelewani, but then he smiles at you and then you feel like, okay, all worth it.
You know, that boy sometimes can make you tired, but I don't think I ever get angry at him.
Really?
Yeah. I've never, maybe at some point I will. But right now, I've never gotten angry at him.
Oh.
He pisses me. He not pisses me off. He can throw you off balance in terms of your sleep and all. But every time I hold him, I just calm. Yeah. So I've never gotten. I only hear you sometimes go like Tawa, Tawa.
I don't do that.
You might actually end up being the strict one.
Never.
Do you think so? Do you think you love your child more because it was someone that you and your partner, the person you love, created?
I know it's a contribution, but I don't know if... I feel like we're in a roommate phase right now with Tawa. So in the newborn stage. So I haven't had time to like sit down and think that, oh my God, like look at our love and what it brought forth. I think I've just been deep into the new
marathon.
Yeah, so I haven't had time to be introspective. But I'm sure for sure it's a contributing factor. Yeah.
I've actually had time to think about that. And
Yeah, I mean,
he's
if you're sleeping, what, 6?
I'm doing now 6 hours.
Must be nice.
Can you imagine?
Must be nice.
You, how many do you do?
3.
No, you don't do 3.
Count them.
From say
You know what? This is not a competition. Towers nutrition is more important. Proceed. Proceed.
Okay. Yes, there are times when I look at, because he does have some of your two behaviors.
Yeah.
He also looks like
Like
you
what?
sometimes.
Dramatic.
Being or too. He's very observant.
Yeah, he's very
Very
curious.
observant. He's very observant. Drama. Do you think drama is from you?
Yeah.
That's from you, right? Yeah, that boy is dramatic. So I've had time to think about it, and it's just something just pure and adorable.
You've never told me though. Happy to hear it on a podcast though.
Podcast is where people are hearing things nowadays. And conversely, if either of you had a child, but with someone you didn't love, do you then think you would love the child less? I would still love the child. It will not be any less.
Okay.
Yeah.
As I said, for me, it's a contributing factor, but I don't think it's the end all be all.
Children are so innocent and so
Yeah.
pure, and they depend on you 100%. So it's cute.
You have to promise you'll answer this one first. Who do you think is a better parent so far, and why?
To be honest, it's 1-0. Like that one, I can't even debate. I think it's because it's taking a lot of you. Because in as much as, yes, sometimes we have night shifts, she also wakes up during my shift to at least calm him down, because this boy wakes up screaming at night when he wants food. Like he doesn't even start small. It's nduru from the onset. So Shiro still has to wake up during my shift.
So your Ben takes time to wake up. So imagine there's a screaming baby. Someone is still wondering why somebody's screaming, and it's been 2 months.
You sound irritated. Let's unpack that.
I could never be.
No, let's unpack
I
that.
could never be. I mean, if your son is crying, just wake up.
Yeah, so it's definitely.
Don't wait for me to wake you
It's
up.
1-0. That's not a debate at this point. Yeah.
Well, it would be rich of me to say me.
But if you're to be very honest, and you're an honest man,
It would
person,
be-
no, you're an honest person.
Rima,
Murima is a good way.
it would be me. But
Yeah.
honestly, because it's taken a lot of me more than it has of you, but not to take away of what it's taken you. But as you said, I think this stage is more demanding of the mother
That's true.
than it is of you.
That's true.
But it's also not to take away on, I think that you're a great parent. I don't even think the question should be who is a greater parent. I think both of us step in our own right, because Ben is the greatest support system. He does have his moments where he feels like he can undo this, and now we go back to when we didn't have a child. And I'm wondering. But I feel like you have been such a great support system. I couldn't have done it without you. So I don't even think the question should be who is a better parent. I think we're all great parents in our own right, because Ben does all diaper changes, and our baby doesn't like diaper changes at all. He also doesn't like to shower. So Ben does all the
Like,
shower.
brother, si hata ungoja ufike high school.
And Ben does all of them, and he handles them so well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I appreciate that. You know, that it's a case of where number one is also appreciating number two, so that number two doesn't feel like they're irrelevant.
No, but I think you handle. So I can't wash towel alone.
Yeah.
Oh, I think, and when I mean that, you want to go back to, it's like, and I think it's happened to me sometimes, where you feel like life at some point will go back to how it used to be, where you'll get your 8 hours of sleep or even more, sleeping in the mornings, or like there will be a time where this person does not demand so much of you, where you can just chill. And so that's what I mean when I say like life goes back to what it used to be. But I think I've found myself understanding that now this is a new normal. Because like when we were doing the promo shoot, I had to do my makeup while breastfeeding the baby. And I remember I was telling Michelle, like, this is my new normal now. Maybe it will take some time before I can come back to the studio and we sit down and do the makeup when baby's a bit older. it will take some time for you to. Ben had to look for a gym that's closer to home
Imagine.
so that he could be spending less time in.
So that I could spend more time with my family.
Actually, yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's that question. What do you think your partner hated the most about the 9 months of pregnancy? What you hated the most? It's the hormonal changes in your body. I know naturally you can be dramatic, but at this time I could tell that there were forces that you couldn't control.
beyond.
Like they are just forces, Like sure, like you're like we can't be arguing about this. And I could say deep down in your soul, you're trying to not get up
But
there.
the forces.
But there are forces,
Yeah.
And even one time I had to call a friend just to explain what's happening, and they told me how I need to be patient throughout this whole season. I would never tell you.
No, you'll tell me.
I would never tell you.
You'll tell me.
But that's how crazy you are. Like you are very crazy.
Probably it was that time I was on those hormonal meds.
No.
Yeah, it's
during the whole
doc recommended.
Hey, it was during the whole season, man. There were times I could just see their force. Kitu inafanyika tu and you tell there's a bigger force behind this. So I knew you hated that. Something else that you hated was the nights. Because of how uncomfortable you.
Those nights were really good compared with what I had.
Okay, yeah. Now you appreciate them, or at least you would sleep.
I miss them.
Yeah, so that was something. What do you think I hated the most during pregnancy?
Okay, this is just my guess. I think the anxiety that comes with the pregnancy and the fact that maybe I was the one carrying it. And so you had to ask me about everything pregnancy related, and there was no sense of control from your end. So if you wanted to know if the baby's kicking, if the meds have been taken, if everything is okay, you're relying on me. And I think you hated that part.
Oh yeah, I hated that. But that uncertainty was something that I just didn't like, because I can't see the baby.
Yeah.
At some point I was like, if I was a billionaire, I would just buy that ultrasound machine.
And I think also I remember you asking one sonographer if we can buy this machine.
I was just joking with you.
But I think if the first child, I don't know how this is going to sound, if they had made it, I think there's a naivety that you have with your first pregnancy that we didn't get to have with this pregnancy, because coming off of a loss, I think the first pregnancy we didn't even think about you could lose a baby.
Yep.
You could, like these things that you can miss a heartbeat.
Never.
It can get to a certain point in the baby. There was a naivety we had.
Yep.
So if the baby had made it to full term, I think it would have been easier on us mentally.
Yep.
So coming off of a loss with the second pregnancy, our aunt and I was just...
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Remember the first time we were going for the heartbeat? The heartbeat was at 6 weeks.
Yeah.
6 weeks.
Yeah. We had been postponing it. You remember how we went?
We had been postponing it. The few weeks before that, I was in Nakuru just fasting and praying. Like,
for all 3 weeks.
And I remember the
3-4 days.
the guys who stand up in church to lead prayers, they say, now let's pray for our country. I'm like, Father God, take care of Kenya. But God, I'm praying for that heartbeat. They come up, they say, let's pray for this. You have to throw it in at some point.
Yeah.
It was scary. And I remember the day we went to check the heartbeat. You told me, it was just a random morning, let's just go today. It was that time we used to live closer to the hospital. So we just went there in 5 minutes, we were there. And when you were still changing, the nurse, the sonographer, this one was very nice. She asked me, why are you so scared? And I was like, just traumatized.
Yeah.
And then she was like, you guys bless people so much. There's no way God can embarrass you like this. And I was like, hey, angel, Gabriel. And that was...
No, truly, I think she was an angel.
She was. We actually need to buy her something. She was very kind.
Yeah.
What do you think your partner enjoyed the most about the 9 months of pregnancy?
Ben enjoyed the kicks. Every time he could hear tower kicking, I think he really enjoyed that. Yeah.
I think you enjoyed the fact that you could get away with anything. One time we were stopped by a cop.
I'm not proud of that, guys.
You would never, you're not manipulative.
I could never. I just rubbed my belly.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Like cues, no nothing. Like,
it was just like,
I remember even at the concert, Maverick, we were just standing with you at the back. You didn't have a seat. Somebody brought you a seat.
Yeah. And I miss those.
Like,
I'll be going with towel everywhere now.
You're like a proper. People are very kind to pregnant women, and that's
As
how
it
it should
should
be because hiyo kazi si rahisi. And so so that's something you enjoyed.
Okay, how are you cruising? How are you feeling?
I had really missed answering these questions, man.
Oh, this
conversation.
We've alluded to this. Ben, has your experience in watching Wanjiru changed your mind about push gifts and compensation for women around pregnancy?
Yeah, it has changed. This thing it's not as easy as it looks. It changes a lot. Changes the way it changes the body of the lady. It slows her life down because at the early stages the baby is fully dependent on this lady.
Hata kurudi job nimekuwa kichwa ngumu.
Yeah, na hata sahi bado uko hapa for like 2 hours strict, and I know driving back home you will still tell me to drive quickly. Another thing also, I can see how I can still continue with my life. Ni vitu nasema tu nikiwa huko chini senya huko, but it's a fact.
Yeah, it's true.
It's not the same. I even think maternity, that leave should be like increased to fairly 1 year. Paid,
yeah. Paid for sure.
Countries zingine zinafanya this
okay, mi najua siwezi kaa kwa nyumba for that long, naweza lose my mind, but I think 100%
but it's because you have a flexible, you work, your work is flexible.
100%.
Imagine for people who have to go back, like my mom was telling me she had to go back to work at 6 weeks.
Imagine.
And she's a teacher, so
and you do it not because you have a choice, but
you
have
to
get things done.
And she was telling me maybe her boss was a bit kinder, so the boss would allow her to leave at lunchtime.
Yeah.
But imagine if you have a strict boss who doesn't understand this.
I think you should be paid for sure.
So it has changed the way I view this whole conversation, and I'm not going to be participating in such conversations in future. Don't ask me this question again.
Because you've made your stand.
Yeah, I've made my stand. This leave should be extended. It's taking a lot on the women. And sometimes when the countries are growing, we tend to ignore that bit.
Okay.
But the development of a country is based on the productivity of the people. The productivity of the people is pegged on how the babies are raised. And that's also pegged on how the mothers take care of them.
But the question is, and I hear you completely, but the question around compensation was husbands to their wives.
Hiyo hata hiyo pia tumemaliza. They need compensation. It's crazy. If you can afford it, for sure.
Yeah.
You should do it.
The sacrifices, just even I, being a woman, I was speaking about it so cluelessly.
Yeah.
I didn't understand the weight.
You're just doing it for the activism.
I didn't understand the weight of the sacrifice.
Yeah.
But it's incredible. And I love the thing that we were saying with Ben about either parenthood or motherhood specifically. It's so unrelenting. Like you can go into a place like yesterday, as Ben was saying, we were around family and you think you'll get a few minutes break, but it's really just so unrelenting. And I'm sure it will get easier as baby grows and he's more independent. But now, especially when he's this young, the sacrifice is immense.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's
your turn.
That's my stand. This one is, what is the strictest rule your partner has about third parties, family, strangers, etc. interacting with your baby?
No kissing the baby.
Please don't try that stuff.
Don't kiss Ben's baby. Hold his neck well. Wacha kushika shingo yake ni kama uyelewi. Shika shingo yake vizuri. I think those two.
Yeah, please also don't be so quick kumbeba. Like, like grow, you will do it.
Will you?
Of course. By the time I go university, you can be able to give him a hug, maybe give the dad a quick check.
Yeah, don't kiss Ben's baby and don't. He's flexible about perfume because the doc said.
And I still don't apply. I don't apply
that perfume thing. You were very cunning. Very cunning.
What?
Because Ben asked Doc in hospital if perfume is okay. And Doc was like, yes, it's okay, but just do it in moderation. So Ben the whole time kept on telling people like, no perfume around my baby, no perfume around my baby. Don't you dare do it. Until 2 weeks when I was there and I asked him.
I still don't think perfume is okay for babies. That's just me and my miti shamba medicine.
Okay.
Like,
you're allowed to have it.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
But I remember I was not super comfortable, especially even when the baby was born, and you see people are excited.
Yeah.
You can't stop people from coming. So people just have to come. You see now this time around we didn't even have visiting hours.
Yeah.
There is no restriction. It's crazy, but God took us through the whole season. The baby was okay. I remember doc telling me, you need to be careful about flus. A flu can send a baby real quick to ICU. ICU. So yani nilikuwa sikia mse tu akisneeze. It's crazy.
Yeah, also don't shake Ben's baby.
Yeah.
Don't shake Ben's baby. Don't come around Ben's baby with another baby, because that's how flus are passed around.
Children.
Yeah,
like,
children.
Yeah.
So don't come around until he's like 3 months, no?
Yeah. And what are your rules? I'm trying to think about your rules.
I'm very fluid, by the way. God takes care of it. Unless the Lord watches over a house. The watchman.
Yeah, Shiro doesn't have so many rules like I do. I have a lot of rules about that boy. So many.
Okay, it's my turn.
Yeah.
Oh, we're almost done. What else can you think of that is 1 + 1 and equals 3?
Bitcoin. But let me think of something.
What do people are doing?
What else
I
is...
think like 1 + 1.
Yeah, like
Nothing comes to mind.
1 + 1 is equals to 3. I don't know.
Me too.
Nothing? Okay.
Joyride Math.
Last question is, Ben, how many times at night have you woken up to tend to the baby? Oh, this is a very good question for me. I wake up...
And you be honest, Ben. The Lord is watching. And Joyride is not founded on lies. So kalamba kidole and tell the truth.
Fair enough. How many times I wake up at... I normally put my shift at 2.
No, break it down the shifts we have, because newborns feed after every 3 hours. 2 to
so
3
if
hours.
the baby sleeps at 9, he will wake up at 12. He'll wake up again at 3. He'll wake up again at 6. Sometimes he's just bored, so he might wake up at 1. So if he sleeps at 9, sometimes I feed him at 9. I feed him at 3. And sometimes I do 6. Ukweli ama uongo?
Ukweli.
Yeah. So sometimes I can even wake up more times than you and just tell you know what, Queen? Sleep. You deserve it.
No, I wake up on all shifts. Yeah.
That's true also.
Yeah, I have to wake up. Because if he doesn't get full on the bottle, then the boob has to be available for him. Yeah.
Wow, it's an interesting season of life that we are in. We want to take you guys through. This is the season of life where we're in. So we're happy to be sharing it.
Yeah.
It's a full-blown testimony. Like, this is stuff that God has just done. We can't even explain. Nonetheless, we're very happy about this season. And yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to say, like the episode, the questions didn't bring out?
No, I feel like the questions brought out everything. Yeah, we've tackled pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Maybe the guys can let us know what you feel like we didn't tackle, and then we can pick it up in a future episode.
Yeah. I think for me, I'm just really excited to be back, as Ben has said, to share in the season of life that we're in. You guys have seen us when we were just young, newlyweds.
Yeah.
And now we're new parents.
Even before newlyweds.
Yeah. And now we're just parents.
Yeah.
Trying to figure this thing out. And so we're excited to bring you guys along.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for watching. See you next week for the next episode. God bless.
Kushukuru mimi sitachoka.